Hey guys, it's Miss Johnson and I'm here to bring you our last notes for Unit 1. Today we are talking about writing inequalities. Our learning target for today is I can write and graph linear inequalities. So yesterday we talked about the graphing piece and today we're going to put the graphing piece with the writing piece. We're looking at word problems today, situations that we actually have to model and solve and graph. So first example up at the top says Hannah budgets $30 a month for lunch. On most days she brings her lunch. She can also buy lunch at the cafeteria or at a fast food restaurant. She spends an average of $3 for lunch at the cafeteria, $6 for lunch at the restaurant. How many times per month can Hannah buy her lunch and remain within her budget? So, two different types of lunches that she can buy. She can buy lunch at the cafeteria. She can also buy lunch at a restaurant. So we need two variables here. That's what makes this an inequality with two variables. I'm going to say that X is going to represent the days that she buys lunch at the cafeteria, and Y is going to represent the day that she buys lunch at a restaurant. So X is the cafeteria, Y is the restaurant. Now I need to write this inequality. For every day that she buys lunch at the cafeteria, she's spending an average of $3. So that's $3 times every X. And for every day that she buys lunch at the restaurant, she's spending an average of $6. So to that, I'm going to add 6 times Y. So $3 times the cafeteria, $6 times the restaurant. Those two things together need to be less than the amount of money that she has for the month. So less than $30. Or they could also equal the $30. She can spend up to $30, she just can't spend over $30. So this is what she's spending, this is what she has. Now we need to graph it and see what the solution looks like. So remember our steps from yesterday about graphing? If we're going to graph these, we need to first solve for y. So I'm going to subtract 3x, and that gives me 6y is less than or equal to negative 3x plus 30. And then I'm going to divide by 6, divide the whole thing by 6. Y is less than or equal to, I divided by a positive, so my sign stays the same, negative 1/2 x plus 5. Now I got that 1/2 from it being 3/6. Negative 3 divided by 6, if I just reduce that, that's negative 1 over 2. So negative 1/2 x plus 5. This is going to give me a solid line because I also have to make those decisions. I need a solid line here and I want to shade down. All right, so let's go ahead and put this on our coordinate plane. You've got a coordinate plane there. It only has the first quadrant because we're talking about the number of days she's going to buy lunch. You can't have negative days. So we don't need to worry about quadrants 2, 3, and 4 because those all represent negative values in some way. And we can't have a negative number of days. So we're only going to look at the first quadrant. So let's graph our line here. This is the line I want. I'm going to go up to positive 5. And then my slope is negative 1/2. So down 1, right 2. 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 So there are the points that I'm going to use to make my line. I need to draw the line in. It's a solid line, so I don't need to worry about leaving any space. Looks like that. And I want to shade below, which is down here. So what this means is that anything within the shaded region is a possible combination for her buying lunches. Now we named X as the cafeteria and we named Y as the restaurant. So one combination, for instance, would be 2-1, 2 cafeteria lunches and 1 restaurant lunch. She could do that. One would be 1-3. 1 cafeteria lunch and 3 restaurant lunches. So any combination that is in this blue shaded piece is a combination of lunches that she can buy. That's how this inequality is now solved. All right, let's do another practice question together. So taking a look at number 2, it says Rosa Padilla sells radio advertising in 30-second and 60-second time slots. During every hour, there are up to 15 minutes available for commercials. How many commercial slots can she sell for 1 hour of broadcasting? So again, we have two types of commercials here. We have a 30-second and a 60-second. So I'm going to say that X is the number of 30-second and Y is the number of 60-second. Okay, X is 30 seconds, Y is 60 seconds. Now, one slight problem that I need to consider with this question, the commercials are given in seconds. but the time slot that I have available is given to me in minutes. So I need to somehow make those look the same. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take that 30 seconds and I'm going to turn that into minutes by calling it 1/2. And I'm going to take that 60 seconds and turn it into minutes by calling it 1. Because 60 seconds is 1 minute and 30 seconds is a half a minute. So that's how I make those now all have the same type of measurement. And now I'm ready to write my inequality. So for every 30-second commercial, she's using a half of a minute, so it's a half times x. And for every 60-second commercial, it's 1 minute, so plus 1 times y. Now we don't obviously have to write that 1, but just to show you that it's there. And she can use up to 15 minutes, but she can't go over. So again, I'm looking at less than or equal to here. And here's my inequality. The next thing I need to do is get that y by itself. So I'm going to subtract the 1/2 x from both sides. So I have y is less than or equal to negative 1/2 x plus 15. Now I technically have a 1 in front of that y, but dividing by 1 doesn't change my answer. So this is the inequality that I'm working with. That means I have a y-intercept of 15 and a slope of negative 1/2. Right here, when I look at the inequality symbol, I know that I need a solid line. I also know that I need to shade down. So there's my two decisions that I had to make in order to graph this. And now I'm going to go ahead and put it on the coordinate plane. So my x variable is representing the 30-second commercials. And my y variable is representing the 60-second commercials. And here we go. My y-intercept is positive 15. There I am. Slope is negative 1/2. That's down 1 over 2. And I am counting by ones here. Just to verify that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is counting by ones. So down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2, down 1, right 2. And I could keep going all the way down. Now, I get to the edge of I get to the end of the coordinate plane that's given to me before I get down to the y-intercept, but that's okay. Or I should say the x-intercept, sorry, the x-intercept. That's okay, I'll just graph what I have here pictured. There's my line. I did want it to be solid, and I want to shade down, so again, I'm shading in here. So just like the question about the lunches, number 1, that we looked at together, this yellow region that I have shaded represents any combination of commercials that Rosa can sell. That means she could sell 4 30-second and 4 60-second. She could sell 12 30-second and 8 60-second. Anything that fits inside this yellow region becomes a solution to the inequality. Okay, so we had to write the inequality, solve it for y, graph it, and that is our solution set there. All right, I'm going to go ahead and stop our video at this point. Thanks for listening today. We'll come back tomorrow and finish the last few questions together. Have a great night. Don't forget to hop back to Schoology and take that quiz. See y'all tomorrow.